Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Colombelles.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today on Colombelles, thank you so much to that kind of nice commenter who pointed out how horrible I was misspelling it last time. We have another game over here from the SD44 New Year's Tournament. Rang, who do we have on this particular factory floor?
On the left-hand side in blue, we have Souchon playing the second Blindee. And on the right-hand side in red, we have Milchkaese, I believe.
Yeah, Milchkaese, yeah.
Properly. He's playing first SS Panzer.
So, I would say our first SS Panzer player must really love that dairy, because his name literally means milk cheese. Oh, maybe there's a slang thing I'm not familiar with. I'm sure somebody out there's cracking up for something. But,
you cut out, yeah, what did you say?
Oh, I said that he must really love his dairy, because his name literally means milk cheese. Oh. Unless there's some slang thing I'm not familiar with, and at which point I'm sure there's somebody out there who's just laughing their, backside off, let's say. After all, of course, we don't want this to get flagged. M8s, though, certainly putting more holes in him than Swiss cheese, as those guys just absolutely devastate P-Grens and Sturm Pioneers over here in the center.
Yeah, doing that early M8 rush, and this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup, as First SS does not have a very good A phase. They do have the two Stugs, the Puma, and that's really it in terms of proper anti-tank. So Milchkaese or Kaze is gonna have a difficult time really just holding on against the Greyhound rush, and it's doing really well so far, completely capturing the factory floor.
He's captured the factory floor, but he's not taken a statistically significant amount of territory, and that over here is almost the more important part.
Yeah.
Now, you and I were talking a little bit about the Volksdeutsche, and I kind of almost dismissively call them a slightly more accurate Ersatztruppen, but kind of remind our viewers out there, what should we be expecting from them?
Well, they're essentially just a Panzer Grenadier unit that is disheartened. And yes, the disheartened trait is not the best thing in the world. Arguably, it's actually not too bad, because getting pinned down faster is decent. But you don't really have to be all out heartened to shoot two MG42s, really.
I confess I was just stunned by the fact that, despite the fact that they're disheartened, they can still do a good 18 kilometers an hour, which is a heck of a lot faster than I would be going.
Yeah.
Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, those guys are breaking like land speed records in terms of distance as well. That's...
Yeah, I completely forgot that SD44 actually showcases the speed of infantry in the actual stat, which is a very useful stat to have.
Certainly is, especially when you start comparing to some of the French POS tanks that came in with a couple of the DLC divisions.
Yeah.
Who tried to measure their marching distance in seasons more than anything else.
Yeah. Oh, down south, I feel like it's rather ballsy 222 person. We got a Greyhound trying to get eyes onto him. I think he has men to do so. Oof. There we go. The 222 will not be long for this row, as it died.
Rather spectacularly, yes.
Up north, we do have that two-star Puma, and in the center, the Stug, which are going to be very important units for Milchkaese to try and keep a hold of. Really cannot afford to be losing these, very lacking in the anti-tank department. And that Wolverine is going to be a rather tricky customer to deal with if you're going to do pretty good Puma micro, which is very possible in SD44 if you make good use of the hedgerows. Yeah,
but closing that 200-meter distance when you have so many other M8s, which can still easily kill you with their own particular, was that 6 pound or 57 mil? M6, that's 37 mil. But, get a couple first shots, crew wounded, that's very, very vital. If he gets lucky, that's the big thing here. Oh,
yeah,
wow, okay.
Yeah. The Puma's an ambush predator. It comes in and out, blows something up, and then scurries behind the hedgerow.
I think the thing that would be kind of interesting to me as well, though, is if Milchkaese over here, MK, can last until Phase B, is that when it becomes his game to lose?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
why is that?
Once Phase B's hit, like, First SS pretty good in terms of all the equipment that we get for the tanks, the infantry. That's when it gets nice. But Herman's doing decent. He's getting a slow +1 point advantage. He's got like a good hold in the center of factory, which is a very good position to have, as it's not impossible, but it's pretty difficult to retake factory position. And I feel like he's just trying to skirt along this northern central position here. Volksdeutsche is just being completely pounded. Try to flank around, yeah.
Forgive me, I was paying attention to the north as the Wolverine, I think, begins to flirt with the Puma, who says, you know what, I don't duel like that, and backs away rather intelligently.
Yeah, Puma taking some hits here. I think he's getting a little bit ballsy where he's maneuvering it. Yeah, Rappen's jammed. Yeah, it's gonna be a dead Puma, and that's really just gonna leave it to 2 Panzerjäger Stugs which are alive, and really only one of them is up north, so he doesn't have the range advantage against Wolverine, so it's not gonna be good for him.
Oh, so let me take a quick look at the anti-tank again. Yeah, oh wow, I didn't realize, I forgot that their anti-tank tab is like completely bereft of any true, let's say, anti-vehicular weapon systems.
Yeah, no, like, Pak-40s are really in any phase. It's just those 2 Panzerjäger 2, which are good. I mean, the Stug is a Stug. But in this sort of matchup, you need a little bit more. And yeah, the Wolverine is getting some shots off.
And he's probably going to get a kill on this one right here. Those Wolverines were preternaturally accurate, I feel like. Oh no, wow. Shockingly enough, that's not the case.
But the Stug is just sitting there, allowing them to get blown up. I'm actually surprised the Puma did manage to get out of dodge. But without a supply truck, he's going to be pretty much a lemon.
Yeah, which probably makes it the only vehicle out there who graduates from being an animal to actually being just a plant. But hey, dude, if he can take root someplace else, that'd be very, very necessary. Yikes. Light vehicles going down left, right, and center, though.
Yeah, the whole northern side is just held by 4 units, really. Oh, pretty soon as the Puma's gonna go down. This is not very good for Milchkaese at all. This very scary French armored person, Greyhounds, Wolverine, really taking the toll on the front line. And yeah, that +2 point advantage, perfect position for the French to be in.
Exactly, and those light vehicles are not messing around. He's bringing in more and more and more of those M8s. I'm actually surprised he hasn't any left. I thought he would have.
No, he's just using all of them.
2, 3. Oh, okay. Because a couple of these are not the scout variants, and the Puma does go down as we speak.
Yeah, this is getting pretty risky here. I did like how Milchkaese did manage to pull back a bit of the Stug. I feel like he really needs to get his Stug in the southern sector. Hurry his ass up north, because he's doing absolutely nothing down yet.
Okay. So, but at the same time, we still got 2 minutes, really. Ooh. It's a small thing, but the Volksdeutsche just killed an M8 up north.
Oh, wow. That was a pretty damn good ambush.
Now, the thing is, he's got to move a little bit more over to the left of the tree. Sherwood Forest is not as big as it used to be.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a gnarly push there still from Herman. Like, he's getting in a very good position, even bringing in a 6 or 57mm cannon. I'm very sorry, Khan. Into a good defensive position to try and hold things down. If he keeps this up, I actually wouldn't be surprised if he takes, like, one of the land-born.
Oh, just going way back out. Oh, yeah, actually, he could pick up 2 of them here. I'm just kind of surprised because we see more vehicles here than we see in some SD2 games.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. That speaks very highly to his ability to kind of hold on to his equipment without too much negative action, shall we say?
Yeah, because this is pretty much all of the armoured forces we've seen, or a good chunk of the M&A phase for the French armoured. If he loses his stuff, he's not going to be able to get into a B phase. Fortunately, B phase is literally just round the corner, so that's not too much of an issue.
Well, certainly not. I mean, especially when he gets those 2-star... 2-star? No, 1-star Shermans. 1 and 2-star Shermans.
Yeah.
It's been a half second there. Now, however, the Stugs are going to try to start asserting themselves. Unfortunately, I think the Wolverine's going to get first shot on the Stug as opposed to the return. Yowza.
Yeah, he needs to get the second Stug up and running to help out here.
And I don't know that that's going to happen. Oh, armor pen. Ooh.
Wolverine. That's pretty good. He's in a good position.
It is a good position. Oh, we actually are going to see this other M8's going to come in trying to aggress in the Volksdeutsche behind enemy lines. But I get the feeling the Volksdeutsch might actually pick him up.
Oh,
This is going to be
the exact same thing.
Huge. Okay, yeah, this will be Volksdeutsch all the way here. Oh no, he's like 20 meters out of range.
Recon optics, curse you.
Disheartened over there. Oh man, that was unlucky.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, yes, some of the reinforcement lines have been closed off, but we also see a very quick Panther G being brought on in. And while the northern position is completely and totally blue, quite depressed, we are going to see the beginnings of maybe a reconquest. I don't know. It's so weird to see them actually being within these buildings. Like, I don't understand how this works in this map.
I know. Like, it's all like apartment building area. It's not apartment building, but like house and block. You never see people fight over here, but it should be a very good position for Herman to park his M8s, because he can sit round corners and ambush Stugs and Panthers. As you see, Milchkaese, I mean, he's not going to move off that Panther through the house and block for a very good reason until he gets some reconnaissance, which is what he's doing. One of the Stugs got killed.
Yeah, I admit I was looking at that and I was like, wait a second, why the heck is he not shifting forward? I forgot that the side armor value here isn't, I mean, it's not, the armor value is not quite calculated the same way as it used to be. Or rather, it used to be, that it is now, rather.
Yeah.
But MK over here is getting forced back further and further into the southern side. We could see a complete victory here. This is surprising, to say the least.
Yeah, he's just keeping on the absolute pressure. I mean, knocking out that whole northern spawn point is really going to make it hard for Milt to really push things back. I mean, if he loses that Panther G, he's pretty much buggered.
I think he knows that, though, but at the same time, he's got to get aggressive with it. Like, he can't allow it just to sit still.
Yeah. Oh, he did manage to ambush a 57mm cannon.
Yeah, I call it 6 pounder, it's fine, I get it.
No, but it's the Fantastic used to be calling the cannon 57mm from the Volksdeutsche, and they're just getting absolutely pinned down there. It's a very good ambush position, because really cannot afford letting a cannon being set up.
Well, meanwhile, the Panther begins to try to assert itself against all these little rinky-dink M8s, but like, you know, wolves around a giant monster, they do go and start to wear him down a little bit. Down south, of course, Volksdeutsche taking out an M8 that was behind his lines and trying to go back up to the north. Kind of a very interesting call there.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is getting pretty funky here. Herman's backing out of the house complex. I think he's sniffing the sense of infantry, and he's not going to want to have to deal with that, which does a good amount of sense. But on the other end of that house complex, he's in a pretty good defensive position. I mean, it's just like a huge line of sight blocker, really. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, Milch, he has nowhere to really move his tanks. He has to Stug in the Panther, but, I mean, he can try to, like, move around to the left of the housing complex area, but there's all these areas to get anti-tank guns. But fortunately, well, as received by casted you, it's only one anti-tank gun. He really is not in a good position to affect the southern point.
No, he's not. Actually, I'm surprised that the M8s are controlling as much territory as they do. I mean, the whole idea of them being recon vehicles, it's kind of that weird LOS control thing that was always kind of funky, in my opinion. But there are whispers of a potential resurgent, you know, Liebstandarte division here.
Yeah, I think the northern spawn point and I think both spawn points are back in control. Just looking at it, so that will definitely give them a bit of an extra angle to try and work with here. That makes it slowly starting to get rindled down, but that Wolverine is a very scary ambush position.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is that if the M8 gets taken, M8s get taken out, yeah, that sucks. But the Wolverine, if that survives, that's still terrifying. That's something that you know no one's gonna want to try to flush out.
Yeah. Yeah. Too bad it doesn't have any anti-tank infantry to try and run through the house and block. Yeah, you could probably knock out the M8s. The Volksdeutsche are doing pretty good. Managing to beat out the Rave here. Capturing a decent amount of territory. Actually, if we look down south, Herman, he's not putting all his ships up north. He's got 3 Shermans here down south and a bunch of infantry reinforcements being brought in. So I feel like he's gonna try something funky here. Milchkaese, he smells it. He's got a Panzer IV and a Stug being brought in. We're gonna see if that's gonna be enough.
It should be, in all sincerity, just because of the, let's say, line of sight issues that barrage so many areas of this map. The question is if the other Shermans can rotate quick enough. Ooh,
yeah.
I take that back. I really thought that the Stug was going to go and take the duel there.
Stabilizers, man. It's always stabilizers.
Looking elsewhere, though, I'm trying to look over here at the same time in terms of the infantry. There's still plenty of infantry to be seen. And that Doomsday Clock is getting further and closer. And not for nothing, but all those M2 HBs, so the mod deuces are just causing a real problem for the first SS.
Yeah, all these light vehicles are an absolute pain in the ass to deal with for the first SS as we've seen, as he really has no anti-tank in the central position here to try and deal with this. And the Germans back them up, it's going to be risky to bring up a Panzer IV to try and fight this trail.
Also, Wolverine might have a kill. Oh no, okay. I guess he turned it off, put it to hold fire or something. Panther swinging around to the north, definitely looking to see a kill there. P-Shrek coming in, moving in as well. So one of those things that, not really liking those aggressive moves with the Panther. I'd much rather throw a P-Shrek squad in and just say, okay, cool, kill it. But I definitely understand it at the same time. You know, down to the south, P4s are getting shellacked.
Yeah, that Sherman battle group is, or platoon I should really say, is a pretty nasty force to reckon with, especially when they're up to 3-star veterans. You're not really going to do too much against them. And yeah, he's bringing up Panzer IVs, but I feel like Pack 4, I don't believe he gets Pack 40 phase if I recall.
He's got 2.
Okay, yeah. He really just needs something more concrete in Panzer IVs, is fighting them running like 1 Panzer IV and 3 Sherman. Like, recipe for success.
Well, and the unfortunate thing too is that the P-Shreks, despite the fact that those things are absolutely devastating at range for obvious reasons, you can only see them too much, so much. So, Wolverine's down to the north.
Killing a Wolverine. And that's going to capture a bunch of territory here, but not enough to really slow things down to a considerable extent.
Well, that's the question, isn't it, too? So, 57 mil's going to start to engage the Panther. And realistically, it shouldn't kill it. It might be able to crit him to death, but it shouldn't kill it.
Yeah.
But, math is a funny thing.
Yeah, I feel like the Panther's going to be able to blow him up fast enough. Bringing in a fighter plane just cause. And there we go. But yeah, northern side has definitely opened up quite a bit here, but he really doesn't have a lot of things to really exploit it. Well, still losing by a +3.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that the second that he took the northern side, he lost the southern side.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing of the second Blindee. If you couldn't stop them from taking some early territory, you were screwed. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened here.
And there's a very good repivoting the Souchon down south. As with the second, you don't really have a great defensive line to hold on to the territory that you get. I mean, you do have like 57 mils and some other things, but they're very much an aggressive faction. As we've seen, there's, putting constant aggression on all different flanks of the map has very much paid off for Herman.
Something that in retrospect has bothered me quite a bit about SD2 is the tanks don't engage the aircraft as much as they do in SD44, and I'm sure there's a level of balancing behind that. But I don't know.
50 cows?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the reason they put the 50 cal for the most part on the top of the tank, was just, that kind of standing barrage. It was an anti-air platform. It wasn't just for anti-infantry work.
Yeah, they do that in SD2, but it's much less effective. I mean, there's just a small scale of the game.
Yeah, I suppose.
You'd have like, a third armored player who just has a bunch of 50 cal vehicles, no dedicated anti-air, but still doing a decent job batting array airplanes. If you just have enough 50 cal Sherman.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
There we go. Total victory.
Indeed. But surprisingly even on KD.
Yeah, like Milchkaese, I mean, he actually got more kills there. He was throwing his punches, like he was dealing with that in a pretty effective manner. I mean, did manage to control the North, but he didn't really have enough to try and turn things around soon enough. And that's kind of the risk with First Success. They're a very stringy division. They got very good early on, I mean, very bad early on. My bad. But you can make it work later. They have some few very good units, and then that's really it. They don't have a lot of spammy stuff. You have to make those units.
But if you look at the kills, you definitely can see that the M8s, those things right there were the heroes. I mean, the first guy here, what is that, 8 kills? He's got 8 kills, next one's got 2. There's very few things on this list that are not M8s. Yeah. They contribute the bulk of this.
They really led the cavalry charge.
Indeed.
Looking at losses, I mean, you got the one Panzer Stug.
Mm-hmm. But outside of that, nothing too shocking. I mean, that was, not even so much an unstoppable force and immovable object as kind of more like a surprisingly high blue tide. Yeah,
just a bunch of overwhelming firepower and not enough anti deal with it.
Indeed. Any final thoughts for this week, though, sir?
Nope.
All right, folks. Until next time, then. Oh, actually, wait a second. Kind of funny why we didn't see a Nebelwerfer. Nah, maybe I understand. I started taking one last look at the deck, and I was like, man, a Nebelwerfer would have been fun. But folks,
but
okay.
Not today.
Yeah, not today. And folks, in that case, then we will see you all soon. Until next time, I'm Colombelles.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.